Y'all, the enemy is big mad. You hear me? Oh, he mad. Oh, anyway, listen, the enemy is big mad. Yesterday, I had an amazing fellowship with some wonderful women of God. I was saying before the enemy tried to cut this live off, being a hater, how I was so interested in learning about each one of God's designs, because I believe that every woman has purpose and every woman has a gift, be it cultivated or not yet. And it's just interesting to me to see how God uses people in various walks of life, right? So I had an amazing time there. Woke up a little bit late. Well, not late. God allowed me to rest. I'll stand corrected. But I woke up later than normal. God's always faithful. But I was like super hungry. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to grab food. I spoke to my mama. And she was like, well, why didn't I go? And I'm like, no, this was a women's cave thing. It was actually, for the women in the church. And it really, it was good that she didn't go at that time. So I'm live, honey. Needless to say, woke up. I'm here now, but all throughout my day today, God has been giving me visions of ways that I should move, things that I should do. And so I've been trying to walk according to those directions, right? And as I'm going along the way, it's just been things that have been like trying to hinder that process, be it in distraction, suggestion, whatever, right? Whatever. So this morning I go and I'm going to take my mom to breakfast, right? So we going to eat breakfast, and as we go, it's like, okay, I know where I'm going, and everything that we're driving past, my mom is like saying, oh, that's such and such, and that's such and such, and that's such and such, and that's such and such. And I'm like, okay, I'm listening, but I'm still along my path, the pathway that I'm supposed to be going on, right? And after a while, for me, I'm like, okay, Lord, why does she keep telling me what's what? What's what? And I think for a moment I was getting a little bit annoyed, but I realized that she had not been in this area in a long time. And so it was a refreshing for her, right? It was a refreshing. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to where I'm supposed to be going. People asking, where am I going? I'm like, I'm going to IHOP. That was stop one, right? So with that being said, it's like, okay, cool. I get to IHOP. Then when we get to IHOP, it's like, oh, it's going to be a 20-minute wait. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to wait. But then my mom, she pops out and she's like, oh, well, we might need to go somewhere else because it's going to be a wait and such is hungry. And I'm just like, but God told me to come here, and so that was the second time that I had to remain focused, because when God gave me a specific instruction, you're supposed to hold on to that instruction no matter what comes, what other suggestions come. Even if they come from people who mean no harm, or people who love you, or people that are supposed to be, in some type of authority, like your parents or whatever. Sometimes people make suggestions based off of their mind, their natural mind, not understanding fully the thing that God has told you to do. So anyway, I said, okay, Lord. I said, things normally move fast for me anyway. It's the desire of my heart to go here. You told me to come here. We go inside. Not only do we go inside, we get seats. I guess I stand up for maybe 2 hot seconds, and then next thing you know, it just start moving. We get sat down. Everything is fine. We're eating. And then as we're eating, it's like, okay, we having this great conversation, or kind of sort of, we just talking. Everybody eats their food, and we go on kind of sort of about our business. Now, when I leave, I'm like, okay, guys, so what's next? He's like, okay, I need you to go and pay this bill. We had intentions on doing it anyway, needed to go this way. Dukes is like, where are we going? What's your plan? What you doing? I said, I'm going to pay the phone bill. So I'm trying to like stay focused, right? I'm trying to stay focused, okay? But all these suggestions and all these other distractions keep trying to like bloop, 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 get me off course. Oh my God, that's deep. So I had to stay focused, did what I needed to do there. We got there, we paid the phone bill. She's like, oh, this building is so huge. Oh, this is great. And then the Lord had told me to go home a specific way, right? I'm like praying. I'm like, okay, God, just let me do what you need me to do. I don't really know why, but I just want to be obedient. So I go. I'm going that way. I'm going on along my way. My mom is like, okay, you stop right here, which takes me off the beaten path, right? But I'm like, okay. So at this point, I'm like a little bit frustrated because I'm trying to do what God is asking me to do, but these distractions keep coming, and it's friendly fire. It's not from the enemy. It's friendly fire, and they don't even know that they firing. You feel me? So I take her to do what I'm supposed to do. I mean, it's what she's wanted to do. And then when I'm getting ready to head out the parking lot, it looks crazy because I'm going in the opposite direction of what they think where I'm supposed to be going, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm making a left instead of a right. I'm going the opposite way from traffic, right? And so I'm on my way home, and she's like, oh, that's when such and such, and that's da-da-da. And it's just like, Lord, help me. Lord, help me to keep the blinders on. Help me to keep my eyes stayed on you. Help me to remain focused. Help me not to get upset as I'm going along the way. Help me to stay calm. Help me to listen to what it is that you're telling me to do. Listen, that was the hardest 5 to 10 minutes in my life. So the thing where it says don't look to the left or the right, but to keep your eyes stayed on him, I can honestly say that today was a test of that for me. And if I didn't have the Holy Spirit, and if I wasn't trying to like stay locked in, it was like an exercise for me, staying locked in, hearing his voice, obeying his voice, not getting frustrated, trying to take a shortcut to hurry up and end the process altogether because it was frustrating. Y'all, I don't know. Anybody who say this Christian walk is a cakewalk, they a liar. I think that's a trick of the enemy for people to make it look like it's a cakewalk when faith is an exercise. Faith is like lifting weights, spiritual weights, and those can be really heavy sometimes. Really, really heavy. So I just wanted to share that with y'all, because listen, it's so much more to this day that I can really, really share. But I want to be able to have a conversation with you. So I'm going to tell you this. Just keep pouring. Just keep pouring. I was hugging my granddad because the Lord told me go hug him. I'm going to tell y'all, he's like a cactus. I love him, but he is like a cactus. So I went to hug him. He stiffened up right tight. You know, he's like, what's all that on your arm? And on my arm, it says, just keep pouring, right? It says, just keep pouring. And that was the reminder that it doesn't matter what I face, that God has given me a gift. in the juices that he downloaded in me. He told me that however many vessels I bring, sounds like a Bible story, right? However many vessels I bring, that he would fill. And he did it for the woman in the Bible, and she not only had enough, but she had more than enough. She had enough to pay her debt, her taxes, and then enough to live on after that. And it did require some overcoming of pride. I just was talking to my little sis about that sometimes you have to put your pride to the side and do something that you might not want to do, but God has called you to that thing in order to benefit from the area that he wants you to benefit in. Yep. So look, don't look to the left or to the right. Keep your eyes stayed on him and just keep pouring. Whatever God has your hands to do, do that. Don't compare. Don't get distracted. Don't look at what nobody else is doing, because what God has called you to do, the things that he's called you to, is for you. All right. I love y'all, and we know that he loves us too. And that's why his love speaks. Peace, y'all.